Ever feel like your brain runs on a different operating system than everyone else's? If you're an INFJ, you probably know that feeling all too well. You notice things others miss. You connect dots no one else sees. You carry a depth of emotion and meaning that makes everyday life feel louder. In this video, we're going to unpack 6 powerful reasons why many INFJs experience the world in ways that overlap with neurodivergent patterns, without slapping labels on anyone or pretending one personality type explains everything. This isn't medical advice, and being INFJ doesn't automatically mean you're clinically neurodivergent. But the way the INFJ mind processes information, emotion, and social reality can look and feel very different from the typical. If you've ever wondered, why do I react this way? Why does communication feel so strange sometimes? Why do I get overwhelmed or misunderstood? Stay with me. You're about to feel profoundly seen. Let's start with what we mean by neurodivergent. It's an umbrella term often used to describe people whose brains function differently from what's considered typical. It can include autism, ADHD, sensory processing differences, and more. Some INFJs identify with aspects of neurodivergence, like sensory sensitivity, deep pattern processing, and social fatigue, even if they don't have a diagnosis. Why? Because the INFJ cognitive pattern centers on introverted intuition paired with extroverted feeling, and that combination produces an inner world that is rich, intense, and highly attuned to meaning. That architecture naturally creates experiences that look, from the outside, like difference, not wrong, not broken, different. And difference, when understood and supported, becomes an incredible strength. Reason 1. The INFJ's pattern-first brain. INFJs lead with a function often described as introverted intuition, and while the jargon isn't important, the experience is. You're scanning beneath the surface for patterns, themes, and trajectories. You don't just see what is, you sense where it's going. You're constantly modeling cause and effect, reading subtle cues, and assembling a mental mosaic out of scattered puzzle pieces. This creates moments where your conclusions arrive early and arrive whole. To you, it seems obvious. To everyone else, it can seem like mystical insight, overthinking, or jumping to conclusions. What's really happening is a compressed, non-linear chain of reasoning that bypasses step-by-step explanation. The path makes sense to you because you've been tracking micro-signals all along: tone shifts, timing, inconsistencies, the emotional weather of a room. When you voice the conclusion, people may ask, "How did you get that?" and you may struggle to unpack it in real time. That mismatch, between how you think and how you communicate, can look a lot like the different wiring many associate with neurodivergence. You're not weird. Your brain simply runs powerful pattern recognition in the background, and society rarely trains people to receive that kind of thought. Reason 2. High sensitivity to emotional and sensory environments. INFJs often report that noise, chaos, bright lights, relentless notifications, or harsh social spaces don't just annoy them, they drain them. But it's not only physical stimuli. It's emotional stimuli. An INFJ's extroverted feeling is like an antenna for mood, harmony, and social safety. If someone in the room is anxious, if an unspoken conflict lingers, if someone's words and face don't match, you pick it up like static in the air. Your nervous system records the discrepancy, and your mind starts solving it. What does this mean? Is someone upset? How can I help? Over time, this can bring real overload. You're taking in not just the facts, but the vibe, the context, the meta-message. While others might move on, you're left processing layers of data nobody else noticed. Sensory and emotional saturation can look like anxiety, irritability, or sudden shutdown. It's not that you can't handle life. It's that your processing is deep and continuous, and you haven't been taught how to gatekeep your input. Learning to curate your environment, earlier boundaries, quieter spaces, deliberate downtime, doesn't make you fragile. It makes your supercomputer usable. Reason 3. Asynchronous social rhythm and masking. Many INFJs can perform socially when needed. You intuit what the group values, mirror it, and create warmth. People may even call you charismatic. But behind the scenes, that performance can be effortful. You're calculating group dynamics, tracking safety, monitoring your own micro-expressions, and managing others' comfort. That's a lot of tabs open. When the event ends, you need to close them, alone. This on-off rhythm confuses people who think energy equals personality. You were so talkative yesterday. Why so quiet today? The answer is simple. Social energy for an INFJ is strategic, purposeful, and finite. When you deploy it, you spend it. And INFJs, like many neurodivergent folks, sometimes engage in masking, temporarily suppressing authentic reactions to fit expected norms. You might laugh at a joke that isn't funny, maintain eye contact when it feels wrong, or nod to avoid conflict. Masking buys short-term safety, but long-term it can cause burnout, alienation, and self-doubt. The path forward isn't to stop caring, it's to care precisely. Choose where to mask and why. Build friendships that don't require it. Practice micro-honesty. I'm listening, but I prefer to take a beat before I respond. When you name your rhythm, you protect your energy and invite healthier connections. Reason 4. Monotropic focus and nonlinear workflow. INFJs often thrive in long, uninterrupted stretches of deep work. When your interest is hooked by meaning, by a story with stakes, a problem with human impact, you can tunnel into a flow state that feels timeless. Hours pass. Connections blossom. The work becomes art. But that strength can clash with environments that demand constant context switching, instant replies, and performative busyness. You're not built for 14 pings an hour. Your mind wants coherence. In practice, this can look like procrastination on tasks that lack meaning, or difficulty starting when you can't see the why. Once you have the why, momentum roars. Many INFJs report bursty productivity, slow ramp, explosive output, meticulous refinement. That pattern is often penalized in conventional settings that worship steady, visible grind. Here's the reframe. Your brain is not lazy, it's selective. You're protecting creative bandwidth for problems that matter. The skill is to design scaffolding around your flow, clear priorities, protected deep work blocks, and tiny, ignition rituals for low-meaning tasks. Think 2 minutes of setup, 5 minutes of warm start, one small win to build momentum. Instead of forcing yourself into a linear schedule, engineer your day like a runway for takeoff. Reason 5. Moral intensity and values-driven boundaries. INFJs carry a fierce inner compass. You don't just prefer fairness, you need it. You don't just like authenticity, you require it. When your values are violated, your body registers it. Your stomach tightens. Your chest heats. You feel the dissonance physically. This moral intensity can be misunderstood as rigidity, but it's more like a structural beam in your character. It holds the house up. It also means you'll walk away from things everyone else tolerates, workplaces that profit from confusion, friendships that trade in gossip, relationships that play power games. You're not dramatic, you're discerning. This values-driven stance can create a sense of being out of step with the crowd, similar to how many neurodivergent people describe their boundaries. You'll be friendly to anyone, but you'll give access to very few. You'll listen to every side, but you won't sacrifice your center. And that intensity can be lonely until you realize it's a filter. It filters out environments that don't deserve you. When you trust it, you stop asking, why can't I be easygoing about this? And start asking, why am I still here when my body keeps saying no? That shift turns guilt into guidance. Reason 6. Time travel thinking and future-weighted anxiety. Because INFJs forecast patterns, your mind lives partly in the future. You simulate outcomes, anticipate consequences, and rehearse conversations. This can generate incredible foresight and strategic empathy. You see how a decision will land for different people before you even make it. But it can also generate anticipatory stress. The moment you make a choice, other branches disappear, and you can feel the weight of what might have been. In conflict, you pre-live 10 versions of the argument, trying to steer toward the least harmful path. In love, you see potential, and sometimes fall in love with what could be instead of what is. This future-traveling mind can look like worry, detachment, or indecisiveness to outsiders. Inside, it's a protective function trying to minimize harm. The key is to create anchors in the present, body-based routines, sensory rituals, and, now, check-ins. Ask, what is actually true in this room? Look at what's in your hands, the mug's warmth, the text on the page, the breath. Your intuition doesn't disappear when you come back to the present, it sharpens. You still see the future, but you stop abandoning yourself for it. Now, how do these 6 features, pattern-first thinking, high sensitivity, asynchronous social rhythm, monotropic focus, moral intensity, and time travel thinking, translate into lived experience? They create a life of depth. Depth of perception, depth of feeling, depth of meaning. That depth can be isolating in a world optimized for speed and surface. It can make school feel too noisy, workplaces feel too shallow, friendships feel too transactional. And it can leave you wondering why everyone else seems fine while you're managing a constant signal-rich reality. But depth, when honored, becomes power. The power to read the room accurately. The power to design kinder systems. The power to hold contradictions and still move forward. The power to speak truthfully, even softly, and be heard. If you're an INFJ resonating with all this, what can you do to thrive? First, architect your inputs. Audit your life like a sound engineer. Where is the volume too high? Where's the signal beautiful but the noise unbearable? Protect your mornings or evenings for deep work. Batch your social commitments so you have recovery windows. Build sensory sanctuaries, noise-cancelling headphones, warm lighting, textures that calm your nervous system. This isn't indulgence, it's infrastructure. Second, narrate your inner process. You don't need to hand people your entire mind map, but you can offer the bridge, my gut says no, and here are 3 quick reasons. Or, I can't answer on the spot, give me until tomorrow. When you translate even a slice of your internal logic, people stop seeing mystery and start seeing mastery. You teach the world how to collaborate with you. Third, be selective with masking. Use it when it serves a purpose, first impressions, high-stakes meetings, moments that need ease, but let your daily life be mask light. Find friends who don't need performance from you. Practice micro-boundaries. I'm going to step outside for 5 minutes, I'm happy to help, but I need the request in writing, or, I can do that Tuesday, not today. These tiny sentences preserve energy like savings accounts preserve wealth. Fourth, redefine productivity on your terms. If your work comes in bursts, design for bursts. Create runways, a checklist that gets you off the ground quickly. Break low-meaning tasks into bite sizes with visible finish lines. When your intuition hands you a fully formed idea, capture it immediately, voice note, mind map, sticky note on the door. Respect the muse's timing, not the calendar's tyranny. Fifth, treat your values as calibration tools, not cudgels. Your conscience is sensitive, use it to align, not to punish. When something feels wrong, name it specifically. Instead of, this place is toxic, try, we miss deadlines because priorities change without warning. Can we set a decision window? Specificity turns moral intensity into actionable feedback and keeps you from carrying everything alone. 6th, borrow your future self's wisdom without living in their house. When you catch yourself rehearsing outcomes, pair it with a present action. 1 email sent, 1 conversation scheduled, 1 small kindness offered. Let foresight inform your next step, not replace it. You're a strategist, not a ghost in tomorrow's machine. It's also worth saying, some INFJs will hear this and say, "That's me," but amplified. If your sensitivities, focus patterns, or social experiences go beyond personality tendencies and impact daily functioning, it's okay, more than okay, to seek professional insight. A therapist, coach, or clinician who understands neurodiversity can help you build tools tailored to your mind. There's no medal for doing it alone. There is real strength in support. Underneath all of this is an identity shift, from "why am I like this?" to "what design choices honor who I am." The world wasn't built with your defaults in mind, but that doesn't mean you have to keep contorting to fit it. You can build micro-worlds that fit you, a desk with cues that calm you, a schedule that respects your flow, friendships that feel like oxygen, work that uses your pattern sense as an asset rather than a party trick. You can make your life feel like your life. And to anyone who loves an INFJ, partner, friend, parent, colleague, here's how to help. Don't demand instant answers, give space for processing. Don't take quiet personally, ask gentle questions. Don't flood with details when a summary will do, clarity is kindness. Celebrate depth, not just speed. And when the INFJ in your life says, "I have a feeling about this," listen. They're not being dramatic. They're reading the currents under the surface. If you're the INFJ watching this right now, you don't need permission to be different, but you might need a reminder that different is allowed. Your pattern mind isn't a problem, it's a lighthouse. Your sensitivities aren't weaknesses, they're finely tuned instruments that need tuning time. Your social rhythm isn't flaky, it's strategic. Your bursts of focus aren't inconsistent, they're catalytic. Your values aren't too much, they're your signature. Your time travel thinking isn't avoidance, it's foresight in need of anchors. So, are INFJs neurodivergent? Some are. Some aren't. But many INFJs will recognize neurodivergent-shaped contours in their daily experience. The way the world feels too bright, the way their mind leaps to meaning, the way social rules don't quite fit, the way ethics aren't optional, the way the future presses into the present. Whether you wear a label or not, the path forward is the same. Know your wiring, honor it, and build a life that lets it sing. Before we close, take a breath and scan your week. Where could you reduce noise by 10%? Where could you add 1 hour of deep, uninterrupted work? Who could you text to set a kinder boundary? What is one decision your future self keeps pushing you to make, and what is the smallest present action that moves it forward? You don't have to overhaul everything. You just need to start where your body relaxes and your mind brightens. That's the signal. Follow it. If this spoke to you, it's because you're not broken, you're beautifully specific. Keep your intuition close, keep your values clear, and keep building the small, sturdy habits that let your difference become your gift. And if you want more videos that decode the INFJ mind, how to communicate your thought process, how to love without burning out, and how to build a life that fits your wiring, hit subscribe, drop a comment about which reason resonated most, and share this with someone who needs to understand you better. Your depth isn't just welcome here, it's the whole point.